Voters in Rio Rancho will soon learn who will be their next mayor. Two candidates in the running in tonight's runoff election. District 4 City Councilor Paul Weimer and, as you see, retired educator Alexandria Pyland. Right now, Weimer, as you see, holds a sizable lead in the double digits right now. News 13's Bella Olage has been following this election all evening, and she caught up with both contenders. She joins us live from Rio Rancho tonight with the very latest. Bella.
Dean, we're here at Turtle Mountain Brewing Company, where earlier in the evening, mayoral candidate Paul Weimer told his supporters that the numbers were looking promising and in his favor. Now, the place has since cleared out since then, as Weimer continues to hold that strong lead over Alexandria Pyland.
I'm feeling overwhelmed. It's just an amazing emotional roller coaster. I can hit the ground running. I've got this. I can do the job. I just needed to get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, grab your popcorn because the Democratic Party just walked into what can only be described as a full-blown political blender. And I accidentally hit max on that thing. I mean, the Republican Party, they didn't just win. Oh, no. They just turned these special elections into a highlight reel of absolute humiliation. Now, here's the part that it's just chef's kiss. This didn't happen in deep red strongholds. Nope. This actually went down in places like West Miami, Florida, 90% Hispanic, and even Rio Rancho, a state that usually votes blue like it's on autopilot. But sure, tell me again how Donald J. Trump is losing support. I'm listening. Anybody here? Can anybody explain that to me? Yeah, I love some good comedy because according to the experts, the same folks who get everything right after it already happens, the GOP was finished. Latino voters were fleeing and Democrats were gearing up for a triumphant comeback tour. Yeah, about that. Instead, what we really just saw were Republican candidates outperforming Trump himself, not by a little bit, by double digits. Now, this is not just a win. This is a political eviction notice. And now, total confusion, quiet panic, a whole lot of, we didn't see that coming. So buckle up, guys, because what we're about to see today in this video is not just surprising. This is narrative ending. Oh, hit subscribe if you want the truth that they keep forgetting to report. Oh, and of course, if you enjoy this, drop a like on the way out. Also, free Medicare help is available through Chapter. I left a link for you down below, and the phone number is on your screen right here. Totally free Medicare help. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the last year, we've been told a very comforting bedtime story. You know the one. The Republican Party is finished. Donald Trump is losing support. He's crazy. He's chaotic. He's random. He's a threat to democracy. The Democratic Party is gearing up for a glorious comeback. Everything is under control. Nothing to see here, folks. Just trust the experts, right? About that, right? Okay, so last night didn't just poke holes in that story. It didn't just challenge it. It absolutely ran it over, put the car in reverse, backed up, ran over it again. I mean, we're talking full narrative collapse here. The kind where you can almost hear the political consultants whispering, okay, guys, let's huddle up. Don't panic. Just stall, buy us some time, run out the clock, because what just happened, it wasn't supposed to happen. Not now, not here, not like this anyway. And yet here we are. Reality showed up anyway. What do you know? And reality doesn't give a crap about your talking points. So now I want to talk about what actually went down. 3, count them, 3 special elections. That's it. Just 3. I know it doesn't sound like much, right? Wrong, because these weren't just some random little local races that nobody cares about. These were test zones, okay? These were the kinds of elections that quietly tell you where the country is really heading while everybody else is arguing on TV. And guess what? In all 3, the Republican Party didn't just win. They didn't just edge it out. They didn't just squeak by with a little "we'll take it" and kind of victory. They dominated. I mean, we're talking about blowouts here. We're talking margins that were so wide you could pretty much drive what's the biggest truck you can think of? A Ram 3500 through that sucker, right? Sorry, Ford guys. A Ford F-350. Does that work for you? Guys, we're talking about results that would make you double check the numbers like, wait, is that real? Did someone forget to count the other side? Now, here's where it gets even better than that, right? These weren't deep red areas. No, these weren't guaranteed GOP strongholds either. No. These were places the Democratic Party was counting on, banking on, planning their entire strategy around. And instead, they got steamrolled. They got mowed over, okay, completely. So the question isn't, did Republicans win? The question is, what on earth is happening beneath the surface that nobody saw coming, right? So I want to talk about the numbers, okay? These are not opinions. These are not vibes, not anonymous sources say, like unverifiable sources, right? No, numbers. Because numbers, they don't care about narratives. In these three races, the Donald J. Trump benchmark from 2024 was supposed to be the ceiling, the high water mark, the best Republicans could possibly hope for. But instead, Republican candidates blew right past it. We're talking about plus 11 points, plus 18 points, plus 30 points. Let me say that again slowly so it sinks in, okay? They didn't match Trump. They didn't come close to Trump. They beat Trump's numbers by double digits in multiple races. And at this point, somewhere, a political analyst is staring at a spreadsheet like it personally betrayed them. Like they're just sitting there mad at their computer screen, yelling at Microsoft Excel. Anyway, so this is not normal, guys. This is not small shift. No, this is the kind of data that really makes entire strategies fall apart overnight. Now, here's the kicker. You can't spin this. You can't explain that away. You can't even say, well, actually, technically, no, you can't even do none of that. Just shut it. This is what we call a problem. It's a big problem. All right. Now, quick pause, real talk, guys. If this caught you off guard, even a little bit, send this video to one person who still thinks nothing is changing. Just one person. And I promise you, their response is going to be interesting to say the least. Now, I want to zoom in because this is where things go from surprising to straight up shocking. All right. I want to talk about West Miami. Anybody like South Florida? I love it. This is not some random town. This is about 90% Hispanic. Let me repeat that. 90%. This is exactly the kind of place the Democratic Party assumes is locked in. Guaranteed. Automatic votes, like autopilot voting. Almost as bad as the Biden auto pen. Nah, don't even get me started on that. Nah. And yet, enter Eric Diaz-Padrón, okay? Republican. And what does he do? He didn't just win. No, sir. He didn't just edge it out. My man crushed it. 71% to 29%. That is not an election. That is a landslide with a soundtrack and is stuck on repeat. Now, here's what gets even worse, all right? He outperformed Donald J. Trump already strong 2024 numbers in that same area by 11 points. 11 points in a heavily Hispanic Cuban-American community where people tend to have a very strong memory of what government overreach looks like, okay? And apparently, they're not really interested in a sequel. Go figure. So now you got a situation where a demographic that was supposed to be drifting away somehow is not drifting. They're doubling down. And that, my friends, this is not what anybody on TV told you was going to happen. Same place, same voters, same story. Actually, scratch that. Bigger story. I mean, we're still in West Miami. So you might be thinking, okay, maybe the mayor race was just a fluke, right? Like one candidate, unique situation, nice try. But right alongside that mayoral blowout, there was a city council race. And what happened there? A Republican Party candidate didn't just win. They overperformed Donald J. Trump by 18 points. That ain't normal, guys. This is not, a good night at the polls. This is a political statement being made, okay? This is voters basically coming out and saying, look, no, we didn't misclick last time. We meant it. Let me go ahead and blow these numbers out the water just so y'all don't think that this was a miscount. Because if the first result was a fluke, the one that just destroyed that excuse just happened. Same city, same demographic, same direction. It was only stronger. So now we're not talking about coincidence anymore. No, now we're talking about a pattern, and patterns make strategists very nervous. Now I want to leave Florida for a second and head on over to Rio Rancho. Okay. Kind of reminds me of Rancho Cucamonga. Anybody remember that from Next Friday or one of those Friday movies? Anyway, Rio Rancho. And this is where things go from to okay, who forgot to tell us what's actually happening? Because New Mexico is now exactly, how do I say this? They're not exactly known for being Republican playground, so to speak. This is traditionally a very blue-leaning state. Not deep red, not even close. And yet, the Republican candidate in Rio Rancho didn't just win, he demolished his opponent. I mean, we're talking an overperformance of plus 30 points compared to Trump's 2024 numbers. 30. That ain't a shift. That is a shockwave.
Where President Donald Trump picks up 6 electoral votes in the state of Iowa. This is particularly interesting. We thought Iowa would go to Donald Trump, but then a lot of news in the last few days before this election. The final Des Moines Register poll from J.N. Seltzer, obviously respected political scientist. But there are going to be a lot of questions about what she missed in the poll.
I mean, she was tracking a narrow lead for Kamala Harris. It sent shockwaves throughout the political world. What it could mean for other states, not just Iowa. So to see Iowa coming in for Donald Trump and apparently by a very convincing margins, looks like a serious swing and a miss from a usually reliable pollster.
Voters in Rio Rancho will soon learn who will be their next mayor. Two candidates in the running in tonight's runoff election. District 4 City Councilor Paul Weimer and, as you see, retired educator Alexandria Pyland. Right now, Weimer, as you see, holds a sizable lead in the double digits right now. News 13's Bella Olage has been following this election all evening, and she caught up with both contenders. She joins us live from Rio Rancho tonight with the very latest. Bella.
Dean, we're here at Turtle Mountain Brewing Company, where earlier in the evening, mayoral candidate Paul Weimer told his supporters that the numbers were looking promising and in his favor. Now, the place has since cleared out since then, as Weimer continues to hold that strong lead over Alexandria Pyland.
I'm feeling overwhelmed. It's just an amazing emotional roller coaster. I can hit the ground running. I've got this. I can do the job. I just needed to get it.
Weimer has been a Rio Rancho City Councilor for the last 6 years, representing District 4. Should those numbers continue to hold, Weimer says his first order of business as mayor will be the city's budget. We caught up with his opponent, Pyland, earlier this evening as the polls closed. The former educator shared her gratitude for this experience and the changes she hopes to see for the city.
I would like to see more of a dialogue between the city administration and the people of the city. So it's not just communication going one way or the other. There needs to be a discussion about what's going on in our city. This city belongs to the people.
Now, tonight's winner will replace longtime Mayor Greg Hull, who gave up his position to run for New Mexico governor. Back to you.
All right, Bella, good information and interviews there. We thank you. The new mayor's term is set to begin on May 1st.
Now, here is why this one matters the most. This is not a Cuban-American stronghold like South Florida. This is a working class, heavily Hispanic area in a state Democrats usually feel very comfortable in. And all of a sudden that comfort's gone, because if this kind of swing can happen there, then it can happen in a whole lot of places. And so now the question is not just, well, what happened last night? The real question is, well, where else is this happening that we're not seeing yet, right? Now, I want to kind of bring all this together. Take a breath for a second, okay? Just listen to this. Plus 11 in West Miami. Plus 11 in West Miami mayor. You got plus 18 in the same city council race. Plus 30 in Rio Rancho. Say that out loud, guys. Plus 11, plus 18, plus 30. This is not random. This is not one weird night. This is not weather, turnout, vibes, none of that. This is a trend, a clear one, a loud one, a trend that's basically standing in the middle of the room, waving its arms like, hey, pay attention, right? This is what political scientists call a realignment. And no, this is not some fancy word that they throw around for fun. A realignment means people are not just switching votes. They're switching sides, long-term, culturally, economically. Now, here's the part that really stings. These are not low turnout presidential races where one big personality drives everything. These are local elections. No big national spotlight, no headline name at the top of the ticket. And yet the Republican Party candidates, they didn't just hold ground. They expanded it. This tells you something. This tells you something deeper is happening, something bigger than just one election cycle. So now I want to talk about why this is setting off alarms behind the scenes, because this hits right at the core of the Democratic Party strategy. For years, the assumption has been simple. Latino voters drifted a little bit toward Donald J. Trump in 2024, but they'll come back eventually, right? Because if Trump's not on the ballot, that was the plan. Wait it out, let things normalize, and boom, back to business as usual, right? Well, that's what they planned. That's what they thought. Except last night, it just wrecked that plan, because these races, Trump wasn't on the ballot. There's no rallies. There's no national spotlight. There's no Trump effect to blame. And yet the movement didn't slow down at all. In fact, it accelerated. That's a problem. That's a big one, because it suggests that this is not about one person. This is about policy. It's about direction. It's about voters looking at what's been happening, economy, border, safety, and making a decision for themselves. Now, here's what gets even more uncomfortable. If this shift holds, then you got places like Texas and Arizona, California, even more of Florida, because Florida is a big state, starting to look very different. And suddenly the entire electoral map gets flipped on its head. Now, I want to rewind just for a second. Not that long ago, a lot of people probably remember this, the Latino vote was basically locked in under Barack Obama. I mean, we're talking about roughly 70 to 30 in favor of the Democratic Party. 70 to 30. That wasn't competitive. That was clear dominance. And Republicans, they weren't even really playing in that space. Now, if you fast forward to today, to now, suddenly things look very different. According to Edison Research, Donald J. Trump actually won Latino votes from men outright in 2024. Let that sink in, right? Won. Not did better than expected, not closed the gap, won. And then you got Pew Research Center showing Trump came close to winning the Latino vote overall. 10 years ago, this would have sounded like satire. This would have been like a Saturday Night Live skit or something like that, like a political parody headline. But now it's reality. And so what we just saw in these special elections, it didn't reverse the trend, it confirmed it. This isn't a temporary shift. This is momentum. So what's actually causing this is what a lot of people are wondering, because people don't just wake up one day and flip the political alignment for no reason. They don't do that stuff. No. This is real life, guys. It's everyday stuff. It's what hits your wallet, your neighborhood, your family. Start with the economy, right? Start with the economy. People are looking at prices, groceries, gas, rent, and they're thinking something's not working. Then there's safety, law and order. People want to feel secure where they live. It's simple, right? It's common sense. Then, of course, there's immigration. Now, this is a big one because it's not just about policy debates anymore. It's about the impact. Communities are seeing changes fast, and agencies like ICE are suddenly they're a much bigger national conversation being had right now. So here's something that people really don't talk about enough: values, family, faith. A lot of Latino voters are socially conservative. They're not lining up with everything that's coming out of the cultural mainstream. They're not. So when you combine all of that, the economy, safety, borders, values, you start to see why this shift is not random. It makes sense. It's very grounded. It's lived experience. And once people start moving in that direction, they usually don't snap back overnight. So let me ask you something. How many times have you heard new polls shows Democrats gaining ground? New polls show Republicans losing momentum, right? It's constant. And yet election night rolls around and suddenly everybody's like, wait, what just happened? Now here's the problem. Polls, they're guesses. And sometimes educated guesses, sometimes not so much. So the voting, that is real. Voting is totally different. This is people walking into a booth, closing the curtain behind them, and making a decision with zero pressure. No interviewer, no social expectations, no say the right thing, no asking this select group of people who is going to poll in the direction you want the poll to go. Nah, none of that. Just a vote. And in places like West Miami and Rio Rancho, these votes came in loud and they came in clear, which is exactly why all this narrative management in the world cannot change what actually happened. So by the end of the day, I hate that phrase, but sometimes you got to say it. By the end of the day, people can tell pollsters one thing, but the ballot tells the truth. Now, I want to talk about where this is really going, because this is not just about a few local races. This is about what comes next. 2026, the midterms, control of the House, and guess what? The path to that control runs straight through Latino-heavy districts in places like Texas, Arizona, California, and of course, Florida. Now, if what we just saw, plus 11, plus 18, plus 30, if that kind of movement spreads, then the map changes. Not a little bit, a lot of bit. Because the Republican Party is not shrinking, it's expanding, and not in the places that people expected, which kind of brings us to the real question here. Is this permanent? Is this a one-cycle surge, or are we watching a long-term shift happening in real time? Because if it's the second one, then what we just saw wasn't the peak. It was just a preview. So now I want to hear from you guys. Do you think this is just a realignment, or is this just a moment. Drop your thoughts down below, guys. And if you made it this far in the video, you already know, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and share this video with someone who still thinks nothing's changing. We'll see you next time.